Hello everyone. Welcome to Logto tutorial. This tutorial will show you how to integrate Logto into your Android application with Logto Android SDK. First, let's create an Android project. Open Android Studio, click on New Project, click Phone and Tablet Catalog and select Empty Views Activity Template and click Next. Fill in the project name, package name, and other information. Remember the minimum SDK version should be graded or equal to 24. Note, we use the Empty Views Activity Template and Kotlin here for a demonstration purpose. You can use any template and language you like. Click Finish and wait for the project to be created and all dependencies to be downloaded. Then run the project to make sure everything is okay. Next, go to Logto console and create an application. Select the Application tab on the left navbar and create a new Android application. As the pop-up guide shows, ensure that the Maven Central repository is added to your repository configuration in the Gradle project build file. Then add Logto Android SDK to your dependencies. Since the SDK needs internet access, add the internet permission to your Android manifest.xml file. Now, let's create a Logto view model. And copy the code in step 2 to init Logto client in this view model. Then create an instance of Logto view model in main activity. And remember to add activity KTX dependency to support view model extension for component activity. Next, we're going to implement the sign in and sign out buttons in your app. Go to step 3 in the guide. First, we need to configure the redirect URI. Enter io.logto.android, io.logto.sample callback in the redirect URI field and click Save. In the URI, the io.logto.android is the scheme. You can use any legal scheme you like. The io.logto.sample is your application package name. You need to use your own package name here. Now, add sign-in and sign-out methods for the Logto view model to call sign-in and sign-out API provided by Logto client. In the sign-in method, we will use the redirect URI we just configured. Then add a sign-in button and a sign-out button to the main activity layout. Add click listeners to them in main activity. Now, reinstall and run the app. And click the Sign In button, you will be redirected to the Logto sign-in page. In Logto SDK, we can use Logto client.is authenticated to check the authentication status. If the user is signed in, the value will be true, otherwise, the value will be false. Now, let's add live data to Logto view model to observe the authentication status and update the status when the user signed in or signed out. Then, we observe the authenticated live data in main activity.kt. When the user is signed in, we hide the sign-in button and show the sign-out button and vice versa. Now, run the app and sign in with a newly created Logto account to see the result. As you can see, the app works as expected and the authentication status is updated correctly. Now, let's try to fetch user information with the SDK method. First, let's add an email for the user we just registered. Go to Logto console, select User Management in the left navbar, and select the user we just registered. Then add an email for the user. And click Save. Now add a fetchUserInfo method for the Logto view model to call fetchUserInfo API provided by Logto client. and a user info response live data to observe the user information. Then, add an ID for the text view in the layout. Write codes to observe the user info response live data and main activity. And add JSON support to format the user information. Call fetchUserInfo method once the user is authenticated. Clear the user information once the user is signed out. Now try to sign in and see the result. As you can see, the user information is fetched successfully. But there are only a few fields in the response, and the email we just added is not included. It's because we need to add email scope when we init our Logto client. Now, let's add email scope to our Logto config and sign in again. Now the email is included in the response. This is because if you want to fetch user information, you need to add the corresponding scope to your Logto config. You can find all the scopes in the Logto documentation. Alright, that's all for this tutorial. In this video, we've learned how to use Logto to implement seamless user authentication to your Android app in just a few minutes. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tutorials and feature updates. See you next time.